Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm. And today we're just gonna carry on our RPG character. And if you guys remember, we did in the last episodes that we created this BPC character manager, and we attached to our character component here, which is this guy here. So the only thing that I don't like it right now is how this is becoming. It's kind of a little bit messy. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to bring the character inside the character types. So this is out of the way. We know what is the components for. And actually, we could even bring those two things here inside here because they are related to the type. And now I have a little bit more organization right here. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to do here is that I want to play and set up the character default male and female parts. So I'm gonna open up here the default variables here, okay? And I'm gonna create as a data table. So I'm gonna just explain you here visually what we're gonna try to do. So we're gonna have a table and another table, and this is gonna be the final table, right? So this table that, let's paint this. So this in red is going to be the types. This is going to be the parts, and this is going to be the final product. So this table needs to know what type does that belong. So we can actually assign, if it's a male, then assign those default parts for this type of character, and if it's not, and so on and so forth. We may not need this table. We can do that as enum. I think it's easier, and maybe even for this one as well, we can make it as enum here as well, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we are gonna go back to our character parts here. I'm gonna right click, and I am gonna create here a new type, a new enum. And this enum, where is it here? We're gonna call this character type. All right, now this, we are only gonna have only one type, so that's fine. And this is gonna be called modular humanoid. Imagine that in the future we may have modular you can just call human modular, right? We can always change those names anyway. But imagine that I have a horse or a cat or whatever, right? You guys get the idea. Nice. Now I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna go here to a data table, which I have right here. What is it? Data table. What is it? Miscellaneous here. Miscellaneous. And I want to create a data table here. Okay, so now I don't have a structure at the moment. Actually, we do need to create a structure. I completely forgot about this. So now we need to create a structure for our data table. I completely forgot about it. So let's just go back here to the blueprint. Let's create a structure, and let's just go here, call SD character default parts. All right, and now what I'm going to do here is a very simple thing here. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to give the type of the character, and the type that we have right here right now is the E character type. All right, now the next thing here is I need to know what are the parts. Right, now we have a problem because I would like to assign head, feet, and like all those kind of different types, but I want to make it dynamic. I want to make it so it's a little bit easy for any user to use. So it may sound complicated, but it's gonna make sense in a sec. So I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna create another folder here, and I'm gonna call here default parts. So everything inside this, that is going to be inside the default parts. All right, now the default parts, we have the character default parts. I'm going to create another so we have the character types, and I'm going to create here another enumeration That sounds very complicated, but let me explain here. So another enumeration called e dash body parts. All right. So the body parts that we're gonna create here, there are gonna be. So let me add it here. So we have head. Let me just do Control P. And here's gonna be, we're gonna search for modular, what is it? Modular RPG, what is it? RPG modular character, this one, right? Let's have a look here. What do we have, right? So we're gonna have hair. So we're gonna put here hair. We're gonna add a couple of parts. We're gonna have facial hair, okay? We're gonna have torso. In some games, it's very common to also have hand right and hand left. I don't have a problem with that. It's just, I think it makes things complicated because it does give you more customization. But I think it makes things a lot more complicated as well. But anyway, now that we have all those body parts here selected, everything's good. Now we are gonna just put this window on the side. I'm gonna right click here and I'm gonna create another blueprint and another structure called ST default body part. Oh, that's ST default body part. Oh, not part. All right. Now I'm gonna open up this guy right here, and I'm gonna add two things. So the first one here is gonna be the part, and this is gonna be the e body part. The next one here is gonna be the asset. Right? The asset is going to be the actual mesh, all right? And the mesh is going to be skeletal mesh. Skeletal mesh, and I think is the object reference. Let me just double check if yes, that's the right one. Cool, nice. Now we have it, everything set up properly. Okay, nice. Now that we have all this stuff, guys, we can start to create our structures, all right? So the first structure that we're gonna create it here, okay? We're gonna right click and we're just gonna create this default S3 structure. So we're gonna go back here and we are gonna search for miscellaneous. We're gonna search for data table. I'm gonna search for this ST character default parts, and we are gonna press save. We're gonna open up here, and that's it. There's a couple of things that we have to change here because if you remember, this part doesn't have anything assigned to it. We only have the type, which is the the structure. So we have the type, and here we need to find the body parts. All right, the body parts will be this structure here, ST body parts, and this is going to be an array because it's going to be a multiple thing, and then we can handle this in the game in the engine. So as I say, it's so you can actually create multiple parts, come back here, and then the idea is that you select the hair, select this, you know, like all that stuff. Anyway, compile and save, great. Now, this table, we're gonna call this DT, default body parts. And now I'm gonna open up. Now, the next thing that we are going to do here is that we're going to add a new record. The first one is going to be human modular. There's just one thing here as well. If you go, we also need to add the gender because we need for female and male, right? So we're going to add a new variable, and it's going to be the gender. Because also, not every game, but sometimes you may have some kind of an animal that a female will have different looks than the male, and then you probably want to do it here. All right, so we want to save here, and we have male and female. Great. Now let's go back to the default body parts. There you go. So we're gonna have here the modular dash male, right? And let's just add the parts. And here's where the fun thing is, guys. So we can add, I think it's 5, I don't remember. But anyway, so for the hair, we're going to search hair, right? And we're going to get the first one. For the facial hair, we're going to search for facial. And not every player can have facial hair, but we can handle this after as well. Let's search for the torso. And also let's search here for the hips, right? So we're going to have the hips. The male, make sure we're selecting the male first, and then after we can do the female, all right? So we go 4, 5, so I think it's 6, right? Now that we have the hips, what's the next one? The hand. So we're going to search for the hand as well. And the last one is the foot, and we're just going to search for the foot, right? And we have 2 foots, but we're just going to select the male one here. And compile and save this stuff. We're going to save it all. Great. Now, because I'm a little bit lazy, I'm just going to duplicate this. And I'm going to change it to female. All right. Female. And now what I want to do here for the gender type, I just want to make sure is female. Great. Now the next thing is human. And now we just need to, the facial hair is going to be clear. So don't worry. And torso, and we want to make sure that is the female. Hips as well, we want to make sure is the female hips. And the hands going to be hands, that is the female. And the foot is going to be also the female foot. Now everything's set up properly, which is great. And now what I'm going to do here is that on the next episode, we carry on with this series. See you guys on that.